Since I was a child, space and endless possibilities for extraterrestrial life have fascinated me. The Golden Record, which is essentially a crash course in all things humanity, sent on the Voyager probes, has always been a specific interest of mine. The idea of sharing the essence of humanity and the human condition with the universe, even if the overwhelming likelihood is that no intelligent species would ever come across it. It captured my spirit as a child and still somewhat does. As tends to happen with the majority of people, life on Earth and the people on it took more of a focus than curiosity during my teens and early 20s. And so I settled down in a comfortable tech-related office job. I never quite enjoyed the mind-numbing boredom that sitting in a cubicle gave me, but it paid the bills and was relatively stress-free. A childhood friend of mine sent me a text containing a link to a job posting at the Kennedy Space Center. It had great pay and benefits. Plus, it would scratch the itch of my affinity for space-related topics. In addition, it looked like it had been opened to individuals with no prior space industry experience. I knew that I would regret not applying and had nothing to lose by doing so. So I submitted my application 3 days later. The process was a long and tiring one, as is the case for almost all large organizations these days. But a Gmail notification on Monday morning, following the final interview and stage of the process, detailed their offer of employment. I was ecstatic before I had even finished reading the opening sentence of, "Congratulations, I would like to extend this offer of employment to." I sent a celebratory text to my best friend, as well as the friend who had shared the opportunity with me. My first day was the Monday 2 weeks after the offer letter was sent. The Uber driving me from the temporary accommodation of a nearby hotel to the center drove past a sign that finally made it feel real. The NASA logo, along with the words National Aeronautics and Space Administration, Kennedy Space Center. I was filled with childlike wonder and a giddy excitement I hadn't felt in many years, yet I forced myself to maintain a steely look of professionalism and tranquility. The usual first day at a new job routine ensued, and over the next few months, I settled into my role as a space debris and re-entry technician, which I came to thoroughly enjoy. It was Monday, September 5th, 2022, when the incident occurred. As usual, I received a report of a piece of debris re-entering the atmosphere towards our general area of the southern United States. Typical procedure dictated that I check the data, size, weight, shape, etc., and either agree or disagree with the already provided categorization of the specific piece of debris posing a high, medium, or low risk. I agreed that this piece of debris should be categorized as a high risk, as its size and weight combined with the extreme speed gained throughout the process of re-entry may prove a threat to life. These objects tend to land in some form of water, considering the majority of the planet is covered by it, and so are typically harmless. But as time went on and it hurtled closer, this one seemed to be primed to land in the general area of the Space Center itself. I was somewhat nervously excited, seeing as the odds of any form of space debris landing near us was astronomical. It landed shortly after I received the initial alert, and as always, a team was sent to inspect and retrieve the debris. After reports of debris being stolen and sold by fortunate people who stumbled onto the site, we were trialing new technology, which involved cameras mounted on the inspection team's bodies, and these images being live-streamed to us back at the Space Center. The team approached the debris, and the buzzing conversations in the large room died down to listen to any communication. Almost everybody in the room realized before any words were even spoken that this was no typical debris. A large, white high gain antenna was planted in the soil, and a half-broken magnometer jutted out from the side of the main body. This was, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the Voyager 1 probe. Voyager 1 was launched from Cape Canaveral just a few miles from the crash site on September 5, 1977, and was the first human-made object to enter interstellar space. I had come across a live tracker for its position in the universe a few years ago, and so my first action was to navigate to the site with my trembling hands. It took an age to type in the URL, and to gather enough focus from my wildly racing mind to read what was before me. Launch date: Monday, September 5th, 1977, 12:56 UTC. Mission elapsed time: 45 years, 0 months, 0 days, 0 hours, minutes, and seconds. Distance from Earth: 0 miles, 0 AU. My heart sank. I looked over at the Voyager 2 data to ensure I wasn't losing my mind. Launch date: September 20th of August 1977, 14:29 UTC. Mission elapsed time: 45 years, 0 months, 2 weeks, 2 days, 22 hours, 31 minutes. Distance from Earth: 10,365,568,983 miles, 111.51 AU. Voyager 2 was hurtling through space on its expected trajectory. Voyager 1 had found its way back to Earth. Somehow, someone had made it find its way back to Earth, back to almost the exact location it had begun its journey through the stars. Whilst I had been confirming my eyes weren't deceiving me, the team had surrounded the returned probe and awaited instruction of the decision makers in the Space Center. My boss was the one to instruct them to inspect every visible surface of the probe, and they duly obliged. Almost bonded to the very fabric of the surface was the golden record sent along with the probe all those years ago that I had so enthusiastically researched throughout my youth. It seemed completely untouched in terms of its physical appearance, despite its apparent repositioning on the surface and decades of traveling through the expanse of space. The record was retrieved and captured the attention of all present, particularly myself, and the probe itself became an afterthought as the question of what exactly awaited us upon playing the record took center stage. The drawings carved into the record detailed exactly how it should be played, and they were followed with careful intent. A dim static noise began to come from the small speakers on the record player. A news anchor talked about an interview given by a politician, a sports commentator an emotional victory, and a rock song played on the local radio station. These were all signals that had escaped the atmosphere between the time of Voyager 1 launching and the day it returned. Most of them should have been too weak for anybody to hear, to decipher, to reply to, but something did. Eventually, a voice began to drown out the captured broadcasts. It spoke in a strange language consisting of no words, but sounds made using the tongue with varying levels of loudness. Yet, somehow, some way deep in our minds, we understood.
We warned you that they are always listening, to never make noise again. It's too late for us to help you. It's too late to save yourselves. They are coming.